If you are new to vegetable gardening, there is a lot that you are learning right now. You're trying to figure out how to deal with pests, how much to water your plants, what type of fertilizers to use, what about compost and sunlight, and there's just so much information. I remember being really overwhelmed my first couple of years. I've been container vegetable gardening for 7 years now, and if there is one piece of advice that I would give to new gardeners, it is to stop comparing your garden to that of people who live in a completely different region than you. There are a lot of really great online gardening communities and they're fantastic resources. But what I've been seeing a lot is people will post pictures of their harvest and others will comment saying, oh my gosh, my garden looks nothing like that. I am not even close to being able to harvest anything. And what these people need to understand is that your garden and where it is at is very heavily dependent on your climate and what temperature it is in your region. And people who live in different climates than you, their garden is going to be at a completely different stage. So I live in Missouri. I'm in zone 6B. Right now it is June 20th. And what I'm seeing in these online communities is people harvesting these big, beautiful tomatoes and peppers and all kinds of warm summer season vegetables. Well, here in my vegetable garden in Missouri, I'm just now starting to get tomatoes forming on my plants. There are still just a lot of flowers. I'm not even close to harvesting tomatoes. That doesn't mean that I'm doing something wrong compared to these other people. It's because they live in a different region. It's been hot there for much longer than it has been hot where I live. And so those tomatoes started forming flowers weeks and weeks ago, whereas mine just recently started doing that. So if you are a new vegetable gardener, stop comparing your garden to others, especially people that don't live in the same region as you. My best piece of advice is figure out what zone you live in and find those communities of people that live in the same zone as you. This is going to help you have a much more fair comparison. But even then, it's still not exact because there's different rain levels, there's different storms that come through, you have different soil. It still is just something you can't compare. So if you're looking at other people's gardens and it's making you feel like you're not doing something right, that's not necessarily the case. Now, there might be some areas where you can improve with maybe doing some fertilizers or watering more or sunlight. So that could be a piece of it. But if you are just feeling like everyone else's garden is so much further along than yours, you need to first figure out where does that person live? Because if they live in a different region than you just can't compare. It's going to be totally different. So that is my main piece of advice. I have a lot of other pieces of advice for new gardeners that I have videos about. But if there was just one thing that I could tell you, it would be that. Stop comparing yourself.